It's the 10th annual National Women's Build Week, and we've got members from lots of organizations. Lowe's is here, our sponsor. Lowe's Heroes are here, and they're doing a great job. We've got volunteers, our regular volunteers. We've had the homeowners. We have people from the community, leaders in the community here today. So it's a wonderful example of how community comes together to deal with the issues of affordable housing. We have been here since 1994, and we have built a total of 126 homes through the support of our community. And it is an opportunity for families who would not otherwise be able to afford to purchase their very first home to have the opportunity to do that with a 0% interest loan, participating in the sweat equity of building their home, all those things that help it make them really create strength, a stability, a self-reliance through shelter. Lowe's has been a partner for 10 years with Habitat, and this year in particular, in 2017, they're providing us with the Habitats with $2 million towards this project. Locally, Lowe's has been involved with us on this build. They're providing clinics for volunteers to learn how to do construction skills. They help with programs that we have in the during the year at Habitat. So they are a true sponsor and community partner in this project. It's a special person who gives to Habitat because they recognize the partnership that they provide in helping a family with affordable housing. We have a tremendous community of support for Habitat, people from all over that are helping us, and we couldn't do it without our community support. We actually have volunteers who have special skills in portions of the home, so they work with the casual volunteers, the new volunteers, to teach them the skills they need to be able to come one day or 3 weeks or 3 months. There's an opportunity for everyone to be involved. It doesn't necessarily mean construction skills, but there is a way for people to be involved. And the lack of affordable housing in our community is a challenge. And having a tangible way for people to participate in that is what Habitat does. So we're absolutely thrilled to have this kind of support with members of the community that come. It says that affordable housing is an issue that everyone wants to participate in, and we have a model that works, and people want to be a part of that, and that's exciting for us.
It's great that Lowe's is sponsoring this. I understand they have several people here from Lowe's helping, and I'm excited for Brittany, and I'm excited to be a part of this. I'll be out here Saturday helping build, and I hope to see Brittany then too.
I'm so gracious and thankful to Lowe's especially for sponsoring us for the past 10 years and actually being out here hands-on. I mean, it's anything just to throw a couple dollars to sponsor us, but they're really out here working, showing us that they want to be a part of the community. They want to make everything better. They're ready for change. So I thank Lowe's and everyone else that's out here helping me and supporting me and my family.
I've actually volunteered on a few projects with Habitat for Humanity, and I enjoy it. You feel like you're working for a purpose, and it gives people a chance to be proud homeowners, and I just think it's a wonderful program, and it's a great thing to take a part in. If anybody has time, it's just a wonderful time, and it's only about 4 hours on a Saturday to volunteer, so you enjoy it, you have a lot of fun, and don't be afraid to come out because they'll teach you how to do things. I built windows. I know nothing about windows, but I built windows once, so I see a lot of people here for a weekday morning, and I think that's awesome. On weekends, it's even more, but to see this many people, I don't think I've ever been on a site on a weekday morning. So this is great to see this. That means people are coming out when it's a good time for them. Some might have a day off on a weekday, and they're giving it up to come out here in the morning. That's just wonderful.
No matter what you come out here and volunteer, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's a trade, whether it's a skill, if you give it to Habitat, Habitat knows how to bottle that up. They'll turn it into a class. They'll turn it into a sponsorship. They'll turn it in just to something that they could give to the families. They'll pour into us so that we can then pour into our community. anything that you give to Habitat will not be misused, mistreated, and it won't be underappreciated. I mean, everything that they do for us, we love, we value, we appreciate. So anything that you give to Habitat, they'll then pour into us, and we'll then pour it back into you. So anything that you have, it doesn't have to be money. It could be time, coming out here and volunteering on Saturdays, anything. It could be a skill. Show us a craft that we could use in our home, a class for our children, something in the community that we could get involved with with our children. Anything that you have that you could dedicate to us, they'll use it, we'll use it, and we'll appreciate it.
Say take any opportunity you can, even if you just get out here one time. Many hands make the work light. So if you get out here on 4 hours on a Saturday, if everybody did it, we'd be able to do this even more, and that would be wonderful.
It's important to us because it brings the women in the community together. It allows women to have a part in the build and to learn about what we do. And we have quite an array of celebrities from the community that will be participating in the build. Some of the ladies that are out here working this is their third Habitat Women Build program, so they're quite knowledgeable and they're crew leaders. So it's just it's a fun way to get involved, and it's a big help to us to have so many volunteers that are interested in helping.
We have all kinds of volunteers. We have our regulars that have been coming out to us for years. We have people in their 80s, and we have people in their teens. And we also have had a great response from our community. Of course, today our group is from Lowe's, and they're also a sponsor of the program that we're doing this year, the 2017 Woman Build program. We've had a wonderful response from another sponsor of this home, Boar's Head. They came out on Saturday in strong numbers. Carrabba's, a local restaurant, came out. We're also looking forward to having people from Bell's and the Realtors Association of Sarasota and Manatee, among others. The Build Week is not just the only day we need folks to come out. We need them all year round, and we have many more homes to build for all our future homeowners. So hit our website at manateehabitat.org and find out more about volunteering. We'll teach you how to do the different tasks that we're working, and of course, depending on what day you come out, it could be a slightly different thing than what you expected. You may not learn painting today, but you might learn it 3 months from now. We're today working with concrete block. We are painting. We're going to be doing landscaping, and coming up we're going to be putting in the trusses and windows and all kinds of different things. So if you want to learn to fix your own house or supervise somebody that's coming in to fix your house, here's the place to learn it.
This helps the community build affordable housing for low-income families. It helps families get out of bad neighborhoods, bad rental situations. It really takes them out of a poverty level. It gives them the ability to have stability because they have their own home. It gives them the chance to go back to school, which many of our homeowners have done, to get a higher education, to be able to then earn a better living for themselves. Their children are more stable. A whole myriad of positive things happen because they are now homeowners and they're not moving from place to place and living in deplorable conditions.
Yep, looks good.
It renews your faith in humanity that this many people want to help those in need.
I have a lot of hope for the future. These folks are from our community. They're helping our community, and doing a little bit or a lot. We appreciate everything that everybody does here to help our families.
Well, Lowe's has been doing this for a long time, and it's great to get out of the store, get into the community. Everybody comes into our store, so once in a while it's great to go out into the community and be a part of that, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. We've actually done a series of 3 classes. Ryan, part of our group today, had some classes over the last few weeks. Some of the ladies were coming in, and it was a good time. He, from what I understand, he is a pretty good trainer for them. I'm a recent new homeowner. I think everybody should own a home, and it's really great to see people from all different backgrounds, especially the women's group, come in and put their hands in there, and I'm a guy that used to be in construction, so this is kind of cool for me. This is a styrofoam block construction. Basically what happens, you put it up in tiers, the grids lock in together, there's some rebar that goes through the middle, and once it's poured it becomes a solid wall foundation, and then you have your styrofoam on the outside and inside, and that helps with your heating bills, insulation, and things like that. What they've done this morning is they try to partner everybody with somebody that has some skill level, and that way you pass on some training, and it's really nice. Nobody's afraid to pass on traits and different techniques of what they've learned over time. Our team leader set out this morning that we want to get some of the window bucks in, prepare for that, some of the door things. They want to put another level of insulation on, and prepare that for a concrete pour. So that's the goal today. I've worked for Lowe's for 9 years. They've always been part of the communities. I worked in 3 different stores, and we've always tried in each store to be out as part of the community, to let everybody know, yes, we're Lowe's, we're a hardware store, but we're part of you guys. And I know the shopping is part of us being in the community, but it's also nice to go back and say, hey, we appreciate you as customers and people of our community. Lowe's is a good partner because once you get everything built, and of course we've come out and helped you a little bit here and there, you're part of our community now. So
Right.
We'll see you in the store, we'll know your name, and it makes it a very friendly situation. When you need help, you know where to go.
Definitely. I'm very appreciative of everything that you guys done, have done and are doing for us. And I mean, that's awesome because I hardly knew I didn't even know what this tool is that I'm holding.
Now you
and
do.
now I do. And now I'll be able to go to Lowe's and now I'll be able to go to Lowe's and I'll be able to directly speak to you, show you what I'm looking for. And I mean, it just builds that family bond.
Well, I got involved through Living Lord Lutheran Church, my church. We were doing a Lutheran build up in Palmetto at Hope Landing. And a couple of the people who are really involved here, Jack and Sally, they came forward in church with some of these building blocks that you see behind me. And they were talking about the Lutheran build, and I was just so energized by that. I just had to get involved. They say, treat this house as if it's going to be the one you're living in, as if it's your own. You know, treat it with care. Don't just do sloppy work. Take your time. And they stress safety, but everyone is so encouraging and patient with one another. It's a part of what I love. This is such a huge blessing. It's energizing to me. It's energizing to the neighborhood where we go. I see it we lift one another up by the work we do here and just in the neighborhoods. Well, Brittany Holly in particular is such a blessing. She's just a fantastic woman, and to hear her story and have her working alongside us is fantastic. We know that she is fully invested in this. We are not doing this for her, we're doing this with her. Well, if you want to get involved with an extremely worthwhile project that keeps on giving and giving and giving, and you want to help our community, this is where you should be. People say to me all the time, or my girlfriends say, well, I can't swing a hammer, I don't know anything about drilling. That's not what it's all about. We rarely use hammers out here, and when we do, people are so patient and helpful and encouraging. It's just a blessing. The Lord is what it's all about. He brings us together. We listen for guidance. We pray for safety and for blessings on the home, the homeowners, and the people who bring their time and talents here, and the people who donate goods. He's what it's all about.
Well, there's a guy around here named Herb McCarty, who was a member of the church that I joined when I first came to South. And I wrote my name down on a sheet that said I'd like to work Habitat, and the next day Herb called me. And from then on, I've been working Habitat with Herb. Yeah, I'm the site leader for this site, for the portion of the build that goes from the slab up to the trusses on the roof. And then I turn it over to the roofers, and Herb did the slab. So we partition the work, and we each lead a certain part of it. This is a lot of work, and it's fun to see people who've never experienced this kind of a build before, try to teach them some things. The biggest concern we have is if people are inexperienced on our work site is safety. Make sure that they have the proper, like I don't have eye protection on right now, but I should. And so we make sure that everybody is safe particularly on ladders. Ladders are an extremely important thing. The neighborhood infill and the neighborhood revitalization is very important. We've done it both ways. We built out in Hope Landing, we built 9 duplexes, so there's 18 homes out there, but that was a fresh start, all new infrastructure. Now we've been building in neighborhoods where we can get land, and it does revitalize the neighborhood. The neighbors will start seeing what's going on, and you'll see them start to make improvements. Habitat's, to me, one of the few organizations that can really provide a home for an owner at an affordable cost. You know, the owner has to put in their sweat equity, and they have a mortgage. It's interest-free. But there needs to be support. There needs to be people like Lowe's that support the program and are sponsors of the house, because there is some money involved until you get the payments coming in. So I think it's extremely important for any organization, and we do have a lot of organizations from this area supporting Habitat through home sponsorship, through donations, and through providing their workers to help us build the houses. I think it's great. You know, we're building this house for Brittany and Brittany. There's 2 Brittany's, one Brittany on one side and one Brittany on the other side. And to be able to have these folks help us to build a home where her children can be nourished and have a good place to live is it's really gratifying. And the most gratifying thing is when you go to a house closing and you get to be with the owner and put your hands on the house and see him take the keys.
My name is Ryan Hansen. I'm one of the Lowe's Pro Services Specialists at the Cortez Road store. Today we're here helping out with Habitat. Lowe's likes to give back to the community whenever possible, and this is just a really, really good program to be a part of. Well, we were made aware that there were going to be quite a few volunteers that really don't have a familiar background with construction. So what we did was we offered 3 complimentary training classes. Our first was just basic construction vocabulary and safety. Then we did a second one where I partnered with Scott Higgins, who is our store's local Sherwin-Williams paint vendor. And we did just basic painting, trim, all the how-tos and how-not-tos. And then our third one was just basic power tool safety and terminologies. I've actually got quite a few people here that do know a lot about what they're doing. So I feel like we're in a circumstance where a lot of our volunteers here, they are going to be in the best of hands. I do have a pre-Lowe's construction background, so it's definitely helped, especially wood construction. Like I said, I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen or been around the ICF block, but when you get down to just basic wood bucking for doors and windows, I mean, I'm back in my element. It's a very good sign for people to see that the community wants to give back, that there are people who will come out and help people who need help. I've had the opportunity, this is my second time meeting Brittany. I mean, this, you can tell right off the bat meeting her that this means the world to her. And I think that's what people need to know. That's what everybody needs to know.
My name is Molly Zappit, and I'm here volunteering for the first time. I've always wanted to work with Habitat for Humanity and learn a little bit more about what goes into building a house. The energy is fabulous, and especially building this kind of house with Lego. It's almost like everyone says it's a Lego house. So, and it shows how doable it is. For me, it's fun because a friend I've had for many, many years is also here. So it's bring a buddy and spend the day together.
Well, I'm Bruce Winter with Manatee County Habitat for Humanity. I'm Director of Construction. And today we're working on our women's build home in addition to another home for a family. These are 2 shared walled homes. Today we're about midway through the build of our exterior walls. We build with ICF block, which are insulated concrete forms. It's new technology, relatively new, and it builds a very energy efficient home. So we're working on cutting in the windows. These are styrofoam blocks, so they're easy to work with. They build like Legos, they interconnect. And so by building the walls and then cutting in for the windows, and then we'll finish blocking the top of the wall. In addition to our crew leaders who are also volunteers and our regular people that come out and work with us 3 times a week, we're complemented today by the Lowe's people who are coming out to give some time to the community. Lowe's is a great partner for Habitat, and they are one of the sponsors of this home for our Women's Build project. I started in 2004 in Sarasota, working there for a number of years, about 4.5, and then I went over to Highlands County and worked with Sebring for about 6 months until I heard that there was an opening here. And the interest here was that Manatee County Habitat was interested in building green and building more energy efficient homes, which is kind of a passion of mine. And being able to build an energy efficient home in the low income type home is very, very beneficial to the family. Habitat for Humanity is based on volunteerism. That's what makes our homes affordable for our families. People within the community are generous with their time and talents and come out and work with us. We work Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday morning, 7:30 to 12, so we just work half days. But many of our volunteers come out on all 3 days and work with us. Having people come back on a routine basis helps us to mentor them into learning the building process. And they go from being what I call a casual volunteer, somebody coming out for the first time, and then I invite them, if they're interested, to start working in all the areas, learn how to build walls, how to do roofs, how to work on the interior. And by doing that, they learn how they can maintain their own homes also. But by working in that particular area, they usually find an area that they really enjoy. And it tends not to be what they're doing, but who they're doing it with. There's a lot of friendships that on the off days they're golfing or fishing together. So it's like a family, and we invite more people to come and be part of that. And I really need more crew leaders so that we can work with more casual volunteers in the community and help out our community with low-income housing. You know, it's one thing to build a home, to build a house, and I say that I build houses. People make them their homes. And I much prefer to count the achievement of how many houses I've built by the number of children that now have a safe home. And we use the number of 2.4 children per Habitat family. So in building 100 homes, we've been able to put about 240, 250 children into a safer environment, which helps them do much better in their education.
Everything about Manatee County says that it's a community that cares. It's a community that supports one another in every way possible. And this is just another way that we can support our community and the people in our community by offering of our time and our talents as well as our resources where we have that opportunity. Anything I can do to support women's causes is very important. And secondly, which makes me very proud, that the woman that we're building this house for is actually a student at the State College of Florida. So the opportunity to support our students as well as a great cause in our community is just a double blessing for me. There are experts here, but there are many of us who don't know anything about building a house that are here actually lending our hands and our willingness to make this dream come true. When I think about the State College of Florida and our student body, a number of our students struggle with housing issues. And for Brittany, being able to have a place where she's safe, where she can raise her children while she's going to school will make all the difference about her long-term success. So to the extent that you can get involved and do this for other young people, some may be our students, some may not, but in the long run, it's for the betterment of our community and families and children. Your contributions, your involvement go such a long way and have such a profound impact. I would invite anybody who has been a sponsor, please come down and see what we're doing. You can't leave here without feeling like this is a worthy cause and the appropriate place to be putting your resources and efforts.
Well, I was really glad to ask to come out and represent some of the women of Manatee County. Unfortunately, I'm not sweaty yet. I have to admit, I have not gotten down to work, but I have participated and built other Habitat houses. So obviously, the home, women, it makes sense. We're going to be able to put a family in here, and I think women feel that very, very strongly, and that's why they're participating today. Trying to help a family out, and Habitat is a great resource for our community. They do so much to be able to help people get a leg up, and a home is what everyone needs to have a good start in life. It's so wonderful to have a private organization that's taking the lead, getting the volunteers. We need to work with them. Government needs to work with them, not take over. And so I think that we're very fortunate to have such a strong Habitat community here and great volunteers that are willing to do the job that needs to be done. I see my friend Herb here, who has been working with Habitat for a long time. Just another home for him to be able to get together with the volunteers. I understand Lowe's had a class to help the volunteers learn how to build. It's kind of a unique building system. So I'm glad that people are learning. I'm very excited to learn more about it myself. There are opportunities for volunteers. I said the company that I had worked for had actually sponsored a house when I worked for Wilson Miller. And it's important. You really get vested in the community when you do that. And then you can see your home come up. You can see your family move in. It's a very exciting team building experience for your company. My father was an architect. I did a lot of work on homes myself. We had a very old home that we were completely remodeling all the time. I really enjoyed learning those skills, so I'm looking forward to seeing how much they've changed since I've actually put them to work. So it's a great time for all the folks in the community, especially the women that are out here today learning new skills.
I was looking for an activity that would be productive, but I also wanted to be outdoors and active. And I'd heard about Habitat for Humanity, so I looked on their website and showed up at the job site. I like the work itself. I like the challenge, especially once I got to do things where I could use my head to figure things out and see the actual completion of the job that we've done. But the other thing that's really adds to the enjoyment is getting to know homeowners. And I like the program itself. I like that it's not a giveaway program. I like that the homeowners have to be employed and have a good work history and have a good credit rating and just be renters in need of decent housing for their families. And they have to work. They have to give at least 300 sweat equity hours, and if it's a couple, 500 sweat equity hours, and they buy the house. So it's a wonderful organization that helps people who are qualified and are building their own home and going to be here a while. I had very little experience, but my dad, who was an electrician, was very handy, and I loved to trail after him and see what he was doing and ask if I could help on occasion. So I didn't have a lot of experience, but the neat thing about Habitat is that they'll teach you. And there's extraordinary talent here of people who just generously give of their time, and they're so knowledgeable. Well, there actually are only 4 paid staff members here today, but the actual construction work is all done by volunteers. And many of them have worked in other industries, and they've been leaders in those jobs. And they've come here and learned the skills, and they can read the blueprints, they know how to lay out the foundation, they know how to lay out the exterior and interior walls, they know how to put the roof on, and we just all learn from them. And it's extraordinary, the talent that's here. Well, I did help on the wall earlier. We're building an ICF block house that I'm sure other people have told you all about. And I did help installing some of the ICF blocks on the wall earlier this morning. And then when there was a lull in the activity, I came back. There's a truck behind us that's a supply truck, and I'm a tad obsessive compulsive, so I like to organize and straighten and label and clean, and so when there's not other work to do, then I do that. It's a wonderful opportunity. You get more than you give, and people always say, oh, isn't it wonderful what you're doing? It is, it's great, but it's great fun, and it's when you don't come, you miss it. It's a really wonderful opportunity.
Habitat is really a partnership with our home buyers. It is not a hand out, it's a hand up for our families. And how it works is a family qualifies for our program, and during the 9 months or the year that they're with us, they are taking financial literacy courses, they're taking homeowner education classes, they're working on their home and the home of other Habitat homeowners, prospective Habitat homeowners. They're actually putting sweat equity into the building of their house. They're building an escrow account. And when all of that is said and done, when they've completed all their qualifications, they will be eligible to purchase a Habitat home from Manatee Habitat with a 0% interest loan. And that's what makes it so affordable. All of that is a partnership that lasts for a very long time. Habitat homeowners are paying their mortgage to Habitat, which means we get to see and hear from them on a monthly basis. And so if there's a situation and a Habitat homeowner gets into a crisis, we're going to know about that. And that allows us to work with the homeowner right in the middle of the crisis so they can maintain their home for the long term. Habitat needs land to build homes, and we are able to obtain that land in a variety of ways. One of the ways most recently we've been able to obtain land is through a community development block grant with the city of Bradenton, and that's allowed us to acquire property. The property we're sitting on right now and working on right now was acquired through that funding, and that enables us to identify the lots. We call them infill lots right now that we're building on, so that we can have the property we need to build the homes. And then we partner with corporations and churches and community groups and lots of people to actually raise the funds for the construction of the homes. And the labor that we get through the volunteers is what makes it so cost effective for us, because we're saving on labor costs, and then all of that gets put into the final product, which then is sold to the Habitat homeowners. Well, we're going to always continue to build affordable homes. That's always going to be a part of our strategy. And this year, as we obtain property, we're going to continue to build homes. We're looking at lots of infills, but we're also looking at larger parcels of property that'll let us have inventory for the years to come. It's always a challenge, but we want to work with anyone that's interested in helping us with land. We're also now expanding our mission to include not only building of affordable homes, but also helping families, current families that live in homes who are unable to maintain their homes with a home repair program. And we're also doing neighborhood revitalization, where we're actually being in communities and helping residents determine what their aspirations are for the community. So it is a full spectrum of working with residents and the community to deal with the issues of affordable housing. So whenever a Habitat homeowner, prospective Habitat homeowner comes to us, they go through a qualifying process, and that requires that we look at both their finance and their credit, and we base our decisions on the size of the family and the amount of income that the family is making, and also a reasonable amount of debt. Our families are working towards the 9 or 12 months to eliminate any of the bad debt that they might be coming into, so that they have a really clean slate when they start in their homes. And all of that allows them to then proceed in the process of going through the classes, doing the sweat equity, and ultimately being able to buy the house from Habitat for the 0% interest loan.
It's a great cause. It's nestled right in the heart of the city of Bradenton. Women's Build, my goodness, surrounded today by a lot of female leaders and community volunteers, all out here for the same common purpose. I was more than happy to exchange my police hat for this hard hat.
I mean, it's amazing to see all these phenomenal women teaming together, especially Chief Bevan, to come out here, take the time out of her busy schedule just to help little old me. And I mean, it's very inspirational. Looking at her, looking at the captain back here from Manatee County Sheriff's Department, just to see all of these departments teaming together to help us for one common denominator, making a family stable. That's amazing to me.
It says quite a lot. What you don't know is that what we plan to do today is bring 30 other police officers with us. What we learned late in the day yesterday is that there were so many volunteers who had already decided to come out today. What they asked us to do is to cancel the Bradenton Police Department build and push that back a few weeks. We plan on all coming out en masse in a few weeks to show our support, but I am joined today by one of my lieutenants and another detective. A few of us at least wanted to come out here and show that we care. I've got some officers out here helping with traffic, so they tried to talk us out of coming, but they can't keep us all away. And we're going to keep coming back, and we're going to make sure that this entire build is very well protected. It's not so much about the house that's being built, it's the home that's going to be created by her and her family. She has children who, I always say, these are the people that are going to be making decisions for us in the future. These are our future leaders. And so what we're helping build today is a home. It's future community residents and leaders, and we're all going to benefit from that.
First and foremost, dust your feet before you walk inside the home. Second of all, she has her hard hat on. We're going to get her a hammer. We're going to move some windows. We're going to cut out some spaces for some doors. We're going to get you sweating. So I hope you're ready to work hard.
Today?
Not today.
I'm
Sorry.
not giving orders?
Nope, not today. You're taking orders from me.
Okay.
Well, the Women Build has been sponsored by Lowe's for the last 10 years. It is a day when Habitat for Humanity International wanted to really focus on the fact that women can build, they can be empowered to know how to actually do repairs in their own home. And by participating in this, we're showing that women have the abilities and they're advocating for affordable and sustainable housing in their community. I think all these people that have volunteered today, and Lowe's being the sponsor again for a decade, contributing over $2 million to this National Women Build Week over the last decade, that this is really a sign that the community cares and that affordable housing is important, and this is one way for families. It's not really as much about building a house, it's about building a future for a family that's stable, where they can have strength and self-reliance in their own future. I think it's a wonderful expression of our community that we have so many women leaders in this community. We have Betsy Benak, who is the chairwoman of the Manatee County Board of County Commissioners. Our co-chairs are Dr. Carol Probstfield and Melanie Bevan, Chief Melanie Bevan of the Bradenton Police Department. So we've had a really good turnout of leaders, women who want to support other women and their futures here in Bradenton. So it's been a really, really good turnout. Habitat is a volunteer-based organization. That is how we are able to do what we can do. Nonprofit organization that builds houses relies on the value that we are able to get by the donation of all the labor of these volunteers. And what we really hope to do with the media attention, with the sponsorship of Lowe's at these kind of events, is get new people inspired, new people to come out and volunteer, and hopefully move up through the ranks of becoming crew leaders, site leaders, women team leaders. Because, you know, these folks have been doing it for many years, and we need to bring some new people on to get involved. When we come into a community, we really try to have an impact on the whole community, on the whole neighborhood. This is the third and fourth house that we're building here in this neighborhood in Bradenton, near McKechnie Field, just south of Village of the Arts, and we're having an impact already. Neighbors are getting involved. The homeowners, our future homes that aren't built yet, are helping other homeowners. So we really want to have more than just new homes built. We want to have the neighborhood become engaged in this process. Neighborhood revitalization can help. Habitat also is very involved in home preservation and providing things that families need sometimes to be accessible in their home, to keep their home preserved, such as roofs or new windows. And so we have programs that we may find other people need to take advantage of. The best way to find out is to go to our website, manateehabitat.org. We have information there, the contacts to get involved. We also have a very active Facebook page. Please go on Facebook and like us, share us, and that's probably the best way. I know our number is 748-9100. You can call and talk to anybody who you want to about what we're doing in the community. We also have 2 terrific thrift stores. I don't want to forget to mention our Habitat Restores that we have, with free pickup of your items by selling those items that you don't need any longer. You know, we help fund building houses and putting people into stable homes.
Well, it was important for me to be here because I want to support Habitat for Humanity, and the fact that it is a Nationals Women's Build was so inspirational to me, and the young lady Brittany who we're building this house for, her story is amazing, and I just wanted to be a part of a great organization and part of something that my name will forever be with Brittany, be inside her house, but I'll forever be here. And you know, it is so wonderful. Our businesses such as Lowe's is the greatest sponsor of this. They have sent out volunteers to also help us build Brittany's house. So it's very important. Research says poverty is one of the biggest indicators for children not being able to have academic achievement or performance in school. And if there is any way as a school district that we can help increase our parents' ability to take care of their children, that just comes back, and we are the beneficiaries of that. And so I think it's important for me as a superintendent to be involved with organizations that are helping us with truly helping us educate our children, which means helping our community grow and thrive. That is so important for many of our students. They go back to environments, and when they can have a stable environment, they can have somewhere they can call home, then it just helps them spend more time focused on their academics and how they're going to become as adults than worrying about where am I sleeping tonight, what's going to be on the table tonight. And this is just one opportunity that we are giving back to our community. Nothing wonderful happens without committed individuals. And it doesn't always take a lot of individuals, but it does take people who are committed to their community, committed to helping mankind. And so I just say thank you to them. And now I'm going to be one of them. I'm going to help get involved in building this house for Brittany. Well, what I want to say to our community, whether you can volunteer your time by actually coming out to work, we need you, or volunteer your finances so that we can build more houses for great individuals such as Brittany.
Brittany is a very special young lady, and I want to see her succeed. We met just a brief time ago, and we have a connection and a bond, and I just want to be a part of this experience for her. I did not expect to see so many people here, so I'm glad that all hands are on deck to help lay these bricks for this block party.
We met just a few months back, and I've been stuck to her like glue ever since. And being that she's my mentor now, it makes it even more special because we have built that bond. We're more like family now, so I know I can call on her in a time of need, and she's showing her face, which really means that she's here to support me. She took time out of her busy schedule today to help. So, I mean, it's all from the heart. It means the world.
There's an old saying, each one teach one, or teach one each one. Is that how? Each one teach one, and I think this is a perfect example. I had a childhood somewhat like Brittany, so I know the importance of succeeding and having home ownership and providing for your family and your children. So I want everyone to know that this is something that is a wonderful experience, and everyone should get involved in some way.
I would like us all to build that family bond. And more than anything, I'm just ready to move in. I'm just ready to get it over with and move in. But I'm glad everybody came out. I'm glad we're all working together. I'm meeting new people. We're sharing laughter. Everyone's having fun. And even I hope for these volunteers, it won't stop here. They'll help other families in the same position or predicament just like me. So if I can get them to have fun, they volunteer their time. This may not, if this is their first time, hopefully it won't be their last.
I think that if you show up the first day for groundbreaking, you will fall in love with the experience and want to be a part of it every step of the way.
Well, we're wrapping up a wonderful day at Habitat, our 10th annual Women's Build. With our sponsors, Lowe's. Thank you to Lowe's here. We want to thank Dr. Prosfield and SCF for being here. Betsy Benak, Commissioner Betsy Benak is here. Community leaders that have joined us today, our new volunteers, our current volunteers, our long-term volunteers, all the men and women who have been here today to help us do this. And of course to Brittany, our future homeowner. So on behalf of Brittany and all our homeowners, we thank our community for all they do to help Habitat for Humanity provide affordable housing for families in our community. Thank you. Habitat!